Okay. Okay, I'm going to be getting started in a couple moments. Um, okay. I will be presenting my plan to improve the lives of the citizens of East St. Louis and the community as a whole from a bottoms up approach. I'm going to wait a few more moments before I get started here. I'm going to line everything up here and then I'll be able to get started. It looks like the sound is coming through clearly. It looks like all of the inputs are set properly. So I will be getting started soon. This presentation is going to take about I estimate about an hour, and after the hour or after the presentation, it will be a question and answer session after that. In the amount of time that it would actually take, I'm going to try to speed it up or speed through it, and therefore I will not be able to address or your questions anytime before then, or maybe not even acknowledge you, because I want to get through the plan. It's over 56 slides and it's going to take about an hour, I believe it. But hopefully I can get through it, the Lord's willing, get through it much sooner than that. But I've estimated and set a goal to try to get through it within an hour. I just ask that you all keep open mind. And since I haven't actually started, this may be, when I do get started, maybe a repeat of what I'm saying again. So it'd be something that you may have heard already. But again, I am presenting my plan. I am seeking the mayor position of East St. Louis, even though it's a year out, but the process start at the end of the year, around November, August, September, November, sometime like that. But I just want to get a head start on everything, trying to build support just in case I'm not able to get the support from the Democratic organization and the precinct commitments within the community. At least I have a jump start. And after this presentation, I intend on doing tours around the city of East St. Louis, introducing it. So I would love for you all to comment, inbox me your thoughts about the plan, the workability of it, and so I can actually fine tune it. And again, this plan came from the higher power. It addresses many of the concerns of the community of East St. Louis. I took time to kind of go through it, to actually not go through it, but actually just to think about it and think about what the plan does not cover. And I really could not find anything that the plan does not cover at all. And it fixes many issues, but at the same time, I ask that you have an open mind when you're looking at it and going through it, and understand that it's a starting point. It's not the be-all, end-all, be-all. It's just the foundation. You have to invest in yourself in order for others to invest in you. So, in this plan does that. It invests, the community itself invests in itself in order to attract outside influence and outside investment. So just keep those things in mind, and I'm going to step out and grab something, and then I will be right back. I'll be right back in a minute. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes before I actually get started, because I'm going to try to run through it. So at the same time, run through it, make sure I just don't leave anything out. And we're just going to do that. So give me a minute, and I will be right back. Okay. Okay, we're going to get started in a couple more seconds. And again, I want you to, again, it's very important that you keep an open mind about what I present. Again, it is the let me do this. Let me go full screen. Okay, it's very important that you all keep an open mind about what I present today. I have not seen a plan similar in any fashion anywhere. The closest thing to the plan is not the plan, but just the principle of it, is the Casino Queen and its employee ownership structure. So with that in mind, the plan is also inclusive of that concept. So I would say there be some touchy things in there that I actually got feedback from other people that might sticks out, but you have to understand that this is an all-inclusive plan. This plan, you cannot leave out a segment of people or class of people or mentality of people in order to make this plan work. It has to include the least among us, which include any other children that's on a bad path. It includes people who have felonies. It includes, they are equal in my eyes. There is no different than a person with a felony than a person without a felony. There is no different between a good kid and a bad kid. It's just about, it's the path and the opportunities or the lack thereof that separates the two. So if we have a community filled with crime and kids with no opportunity, then what do? You create that opportunity. But without the lack of knowledge, how could you create something that you have no knowledge of? So again, keep an open mind, because this plan includes everyone. This plan includes the elderly, the young, the elites, the criminal masterminds, the felons, all of that. This is inclusive, but it's based upon family. This whole plan include family and togetherness. That's what this whole plan is based upon. And it's a start. Like I said, it's not the be all, end all, be all. It's just the start. It's the foundation of actually creating something better, creating a mirror to where the outside community can look into and glass and can look into and see that, okay, they're trying. And it's in a different environment. It's a start. So again, we're going to go through this plan. I'm going to try to get through it with an hour. I think I probably just wasted about a couple minutes going through it myself. I would not be able to answer questions. I'm just going to kind of, like I said, go through it. I'm going to answer questions at the end of it. So just take a pen, piece of paper, write your questions down. I'm going to try. I will not acknowledge you like you come in a room and presentation and say, you know, whatever type comment. I will not be able to see you to address it or acknowledge that you are in the room. So at the end, so if you're typing something and I don't respond back, that's what it is. I can't see you. I just can't respond back to your text or anything like that. So just wait till the end of the presentation, and then I will address your tweets or texting or whatever it is that you have on. So again, we're going to actually get started. There might be some technical difficulties, like there always are. I'm used to this program because I use it at my club. So, but I haven't used it in this form. So just keep in mind, nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. And just the mere fact that I'm actually speaking to you all now and have some sense of confidence is a dramatic change in my life. So no one can actually tell me that the higher power is not good. So, and I will make mistakes. I will say because I'm human. I will say have when I should say has, or has when I should say have. So I'm not perfect. No one is. But I'll ask, keep open mind, and just that, keep open mind. So we're going to get started. Let me click this over here. Okay. And 4. Okay, so I want to welcome you all to my plan. My plan is East St. Louis First Prosperity Plan. And what this plan, this plan, okay, it is my pleasure to be with you all today. And what I would like you to do is keep in mind that I'm seeking your help in my quest to become the mayor of the city of East St. Louis. I am offering you something that's totally different than any other candidate can offer you at all. And what I'm asking of you is that if you decide that I have something of value, and would you contact your local political the local political party of East St. Louis, the precinct committeemen, and ask them to take a look at me. Give me a chance, give me an opportunity, because we all know how the game work in the city of East St. Louis. So it takes the political party to actually push and get things out there. And I'm asking for you all to assist me in that. And if you do not think that my plan is viable or that is unrealistic, just compare my plan against any other candidate's plan and make a decision from there. And third, I would like for you all to give me a vote when you see my name on the ballot. Again, the process for mayor starts in November. November, I believe, no, October, November, somewhere around that time. And the race kind of goes on up until maybe April of next year. So, but I don't have the backing of the political party, so it's going to be, I don't know who their candidates are, but at the same time, I want to get a head start, at least get my plan out. And even if it doesn't work out, there is something out there that they can go off of to actually make the plan work itself, and that's important. Okay, I'm going to get into a little bit of background information about myself. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible, but at the same time, I don't want you to miss anything, because it's important to know actually who I am and why I'm actually speaking, what gives me the authority to even present this information to you. Okay, my name is Courtney M. Hoffman II. I was born and raised in the city of East St. Louis. I've owned multiple businesses within the community and in St. Louis. I'm a professional U.S. equities trader with over 200 million traded in the U.S. stock market. I'm a real estate broker, been a real estate broker for over 20 years. I'm a certified general appraiser. I appraise malls. I've appraised most properties in the city of East St. Louis and all the other minority communities. I've worked with national banks, the city of most municipalities around here. I'm an insurance claim adjuster, so if you have a fire or something like that, I can adjust your claim. I'm an expert witness in the area of real estate in the county of St. Clair, Illinois. I'm a specialist in eminent domain when the government tries to take your property. I've worked on both ends of the equation, and I'm a real estate tax expert. I lower individuals' real estate taxes, so I know how that process works as well. Again, I'm licensed in multiple different states in the state of Illinois, Georgia, Missouri, as in some shape or form, real estate, insurance, appraising, stock, whatever it may be. Again, I've been trading stocks for the past, as a stock trader, professional trader, for the past 11 and 12 years. As you can see, I've traded over 200 million in the stock market, and I'm still an active trader, working on a hedge fund. Some notable projects that I've been involved in, actually, in many projects, in most projects that's big in the city of East St. Louis, I have, in my company, that has had some shape or form involvement in those projects. The most notable projects are the 25th Street development and the Vantage Credit Union downtown East St. Louis. But I've had some role in that development, or those developments, and most developments in the city of East St. Louis for the past maybe 15 years. From the JJK Center, from 25th Street to Southern Illinois Healthcare Foundation, all of those projects, I've had some play in those projects. My intentions of this program, of this presentation, is to open your mind into something that's totally different, but yet possible, and also present an option to the decaying city, the increase in crime, and the outflow of our community dollars. Okay, disclaimer. There will be individuals listed that you'll see pictures of. They are not aware that they're actually in my presentation. They are not aware that I'm actually speaking of them. But the reason why they are there is because of my professional knowledge of their ability and what they can do and what they have contribute to the community, or even in their personal life, to be able to make this possible. And like I said, it's for example purposes, to give you something that's very real, that is possible. So that's what it's for. Also, that I am not a member of the Democratic organization in the city of East St. Louis. However, I would love to have their support in becoming mayor of East St. Louis. And also, I have reached out to those individuals, the powers that be, to inquire that they consider me as a candidate for the upcoming mayor's election. Okay, the cash flow quadrant is a mindset. It separates the mindset from individuals versus business owners, the elite versus the non. And there are 4 key elements to how a person makes money. And it was introduced by Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it has a very outstanding principle within the ability of the professional and the mindset of all individuals. So to give you a summary of it, there's 2 mindsets. There's the individuals that work, and then there's the individuals that the workers work for. And the people that's in the employee minded, they look for security. They look for security as in, I'm going to work for this job, give them all I have. But the problem is they never own it. So if they do not work, they do not eat. And then you have the self-employed person. It's really still employee minded, because one, whatever they do, whatever money that they make, they don't really have time to even spend the money, because they're working all the time. So they're a slave to their business. Now, the business owner, on the other hand, is a person that develop systems that allow things to work in their absence. That if they were to pass on, this would still go, like Apple, Hilton. Places like that is a business, and those businesses allow a person to have money and assets that they can invest in to generate money on their own, and that's where the investor comes from. And in this program and this presentation and this plan, this is one of the key cores of this plan, to move individuals from the employee mindset into the business mindset and investor mindset. And it's going to be done. It's going to be done without an effort on your end, and a major effort on your end. You have to have in order to benefit from something and enjoy something, you have to put forth some type of effort in making it happen for yourself. So, but this plan, this is a core piece of this plan, and it, like, again, takes an individual from an independent employee mindset to a boss, in a sense. So just but the agenda for the day. The agenda, I'm gonna state the problems that this plan addresses. We're gonna go through the plan. I'm gonna show you a few concept videos, and then at the end, we're gonna have a question and answer session at the end. Okay, so this plan addresses the safety, public safety, in the form of the pension, crime, and the staffing levels of the city of East St. Louis. It addresses the lack of togetherness and support that we have amongst each other, the poverty levels within the city of East St. Louis, the lack of business support, our poor economic conditions, the lack of adequate housing, and a decline in population. This plan is designed to address all of those issues. So if there are issues that's not addressed by this plan, let me know, and we can talk about it let me know at the end of it, and in the question and answer session, to see, or if going through this plan you don't see how this plan addresses these specific issues, then you let me know, so I can explain to you how that it can and how that it will address these issues. Okay, the East St. Louis First Prosperity Plan is ultimately designed to reduce and eliminate household poverty. That's your household. This plan is focused on the individuals. It's not the city government. It's not any outside government, outside entities. It's specifically designed to improve the lives of the citizens. As the lives of the citizens improved, their income improved. So if their income improved, then they have money to invest more within the city in e-commerce, to where it generates taxes for the city, additional revenues for the city, and ultimately reduce real estate taxes and increase public safety in the form of more police, more government services, more firemen, and things like that. So that's what this plan is designed for. And again, I'm looking to be mayor. I need your help in my quest. So just keep in mind that that's what the purpose of my presentation for is, to make you aware of the things that I'm trying to do. Throughout this presentation, there will be words that I'll be using or terms that I'll be saying, and I just want you all to understand what I'm talking about when I say it. So a public-private partnership is an arrangement between a government entity and a private entity. The City of East St. Louis and the City of East St. Louis First Corporation, for example. And hedge fund. Hedge fund is a pool of investors' fund that is used to invest in businesses or some type of asset or something, but it's a pool of funds. And I listed them as a source to provide an exit strategy because they're looking, hedge funds looks for something to make a profit, and East St. Louis First could be that option for them in the offset of the planning and selling. Profits are derived from the difference between what the earnings of something is and the amount spent in buying or operating or producing the income that's been used. Okay, the Title I and Title II and Title III of the Job Act which was introduced under President Obama. It allows small individuals to now invest in big business. Before, you can solicit any investment from small people, but that has changed. It allows these small guys to come in and invest in big business now, and which is a key thing because East St. Louis First is going to be a big business, and this plan allows for individual citizens to get in to this big business, to get in to ownership of these big businesses, just like Bitcoin or any other things. A small guy can now get in and not have to be constrained to the rules and regulations of the exchange, the stock exchange, or the Security Exchange Commission, and things like that. Okay, a bond is an investment, whereas the investor loans money by the purchase of the bond which a entity issue, like the City of East St. Louis issuing a bond for the Casino Queen. That Casino Queen bond is a debt to the city that the city has to pay. This is a financing option. If it's a government that's issuing a bond, that is a governmental bond. If it's a corporation issuing a bond, that's a corporate bond. And that's where you get into the junk bonds and A-rated bonds and municipal bonds and all of that. But that is a financing option. Tax increment financing, which is called TIF, that we all know of, that is used to subsidize redevelopment in a community that's blighted or need improvement and better infrastructure. Shares is what is proof of ownership of a corporation. It is or an asset. It is equal in distribution of based upon your percentage of shares of that corporation, but they all get the same amount individually, but collectively your total amount of shares represent the amount of revenues that you receive from that corporation in the form of dividends. Dividends is the distribution of the earnings, which is what you receive, which is the distribution of the profits. And in this plan, the City of East St. Louis citizens will receive dividends from the East St. Louis First Corporation, which is the corporation that owns everything. Okay, New Market Tax Credit Program is a federal tax which incentivizes business and investment, real estate investment, in a low-income community. We actually have a New Market Tax Credit authority here in the City of East St. Louis. It's fairly new, but it's more likely operated through the Commerce, the Chamber of Commerce. And that is a financing option. Franchises is like McDonald's, Wendy's, Hardee's, places like that. And what it does, it allows people to acquire their proven system in order to make a profit in exchange for a fee in the short term. Okay, the Illinois Neighborhood Redevelopment Corporation was a bill that was passed that allowed private rehabilitation of blighted areas. The gas stations in the City of East St. Louis has been using that law to develop all the gas stations that you see in the City of East St. Louis. East St. Louis First will be considered a Illinois Redevelopment Corporation that allowed them to develop the City of East St. Louis. The city will give development rights. It's basically whatever they own or the section that they own or have control of, which is the whole City of East St. Louis, would give this corporation the development rights in order to get priority and also create that public-private partnership that will allow this plan to actually work. Now, the East St. Louis First Corporation, that is an example. These are examples. These are of how this actually works. It's basically an example. This corporation is owned by 90%. It's 90% of this corporation is owned by each and every last citizen of the City of East St. Louis that's over 18 years old. 10% of it will be owned by the management company that's operating and producing revenues for the citizens of East St. Louis. The management team will consist of a group of 7 individuals, which 6 of those are community professionals that has a proven track record, that has knowledge, and is very well respected within the community. And 1 member will be of the general public that's kind of in tune with what's going on in the community. So they're not necessarily knowledgeable about whatever. They just know people. They just know what's going on. They just know what in their shoes or in their household what they expect. And the sole purpose of this corporation will be to create economic prosperity for all the citizens in the City of East St. Louis, which will produce economic growth for the community as a whole. The management team, for an example, again, these individuals do not know that I am using them as an example, but they are proven leaders in the community. They are franchise owners of this corporation. The chairman and the leader of this corporation must be a franchise owner, because we are seeking to have name brands, because we as people look for name brands. So these are individuals who know business and know franchises because they both own McDonald's. And Bob Bonner is the owner of the Aldi, the Save-A-Lot in Edgemont. And we have Jimmy Williams is the owner of the McDonald's on 25th Street and many others. But they both have expertise in franchising, which is what it's going to take to make all this work. It's individuals from the community that knows the community, that can lead this community and have experience that will take us where we need to go. In this corporation, we have members. We have like Lorenzo Savage. Lorenzo Savage is an architect. Architects are there to design how things will look and give blueprints on what things should be in place. But this particular position will design the projects that the city will actually need. He would know the lot sizes. He would know what it would take to actually pull together all these resources to make this work. It will be an architect. We have a general contractor, which is Sam Hutchinson, which I am truly amazed at this guy here. This guy is the owner of Interface Construction, which builds the St. Louis hospital, the BJC's multi-billion-dollar projects. This guy has the knowledge and the ability, and he's the owner of the company that's doing this. So he has the experience to do this. I know him personally, and he's like a phenomenal guy. So character is outstanding. So people like this brings credibility to this to the project. And again, these are people being used for an example. This is not who I would want them to be, but not saying that they would want to be. But people of this magnitude and character is what we need to develop and make this plan work. Then we have Dana Howard. He has experience. He's from the community. He has experience in construction as well. But the purpose, I think, that Dana would have or serve, or someone like Dana would serve as an investor of funds. Dana has been a stockbroker for many years. Very familiar with the Series 7 investments, the stocks, because once the revenues come in, once the reserves come into the corporation, we need someone to be able to invest it to make it greater return for the citizens of East St. Louis. Then we have a real estate professional, which is Angel Renee Lewis. She specializes in relocation, real estate sales, and also valuations. So as they design and look for an area, you have an individual in-house person that can gather all of the people, present offers, acquire all the land, and she's an extreme expert, an extreme professional to the utmost. Have not met a more professional person than this person here. Then we have the accountant, someone that's going to watch the money. We have Johnny Campbell, Xavier Bennett. We have Levon Singleton. All these individuals have major experience in accounting and finance. And again, any one of these individuals can qualify as a prominent member of this organization that brings credibility, stability, and also as a watchdog for the citizens' money. And you, one of the members, could be you. There is no qualification, whether you're a felon, whether you're young, whether you're old. You are included. You could be a member of this organization that's going to look out and develop the city of East St. Louis. And me, I'm not a member, but as mayor, will be a liaison between the corporation, the city, and the citizens to make sure that the presentation, to make sure things are on track, to make sure that the people are satisfied with their investment within this community, and be the liaison to work and provide resources to this organization, to the City of East St. Louis First Corporation, which is the citizens itself. We have the city body that's operating the laws and rules and everything, but think of this entity as your money. Think of this entity as a entity that's looking to produce your money. This is your business and your investment that's creating money that's going to work for you instead of you having to work for the money. That's where this corporation come in. And as mayor is to not be political with this organization. This organization should remain out of the political arena in all shapes and all forms. Its sole purpose is to produce a profit for the citizens of East St. Louis. That's the only purpose this organization serves, is to bring profits that will be mailed to the citizens of East St. Louis for every project that is involved in. And that's the purpose. And then as mayor, I will be the liaison in between all parties, because as mayor, you're the spokesperson for the city of East St. Louis. You're the spokesperson for the citizens of East St. Louis. And we all know what this is. Looking at this building, it inspires so much emotion and possibility, because this is our Wall Street. This building is a representation of Wall Street to us. This building is powerful. It's strong. I can see individuals going into this place and learning how to invest in stocks. Go in this place and learn how to do real estate. Go in here and be trained in community, in computers or things like that. Provide services that will make us better citizens and increase our lives financially. That's what this building represents. And as mayor, that's what this building would be used for. This building is owned by the citizens of East St. Louis already. So if it's owned by the citizens of East St. Louis already, and then we got a corporation that's owned by the citizens already, why come the two cannot be merged together as this being the headquarters for the corporation that's owned by the citizens of East St. Louis? That's what this building represents to me. That is the highest and best use for that particular building. The parties involved in making this plan happen is the City of East St. Louis First Corporation. That is a generic name that I created, but there's no better name for it, and it is the citizens of East St. Louis collectively together in a form of ownership of shares in East St. Louis First Corporation. The City of East St. Louis itself, which we are East St. Louis, the people are, but this is the regulating body. The other body is the financial body of the organization, of the community. Then we have the management team. The management team that we said, that I just went through the process of going through who they are. Then we have them. We have franchises like McDonald's, Walmart. Walmart's not a franchise. McDonald's, Wendy's, Wingstop, Chuck E. Cheese. Those are franchises, and we will seek through East St. Louis First, and the citizens of East St. Louis will seek franchises to develop like Chuck E. Cheese and things like that. We will have to get a start. Now, inside investors, we have to invest in ourselves first before we could hope for anyone else to come in. Once they see that you are invested in your own self, they are more willing to invest in you first. So with this plan, and if carried out, we will be a phenomenal community that's attractive to so many people, and it changes the game because we're not giving people whatever they want in order to come in. We are able to be selective as to what we want to come in. And since East St. Louis First Corporation is the dominant developer, then they have to be included. So the citizens have to be included. So if you receiving city money, then you should include the city in your profits. So it will become a profit sharing situation. Whatever percentage of money you get, that's what percentage of ownership that we get into your outside business. So that way, East St. Louis First and the citizens will benefit greatly by all activities that's going on in the community, and especially using their money in the first place. Outside customers, Ferry Heights, Belleville, Washington Park, Allerton, St. Louis will participate in being customers of the services that we will provide. And then we have the government, which is the state and federal. Some rules and regulations may have to be developed in order for this plan to be carried out with the state and with the Latoya Greenwood, which is our representative, and Chris Bell, hopefully when he's become our next senator, other than like Claiborne and was. So, but we will need outside assistance to actually make sure that everything is lined up and carried out properly. I do not believe in the fact that nothing can be done or it's impossible. I have a philosophy that to do any and everything that you have to do in order to get whatever it is that you need done, did. So with that being said, this plan under my leadership will be carried out 100%. 100%, no questions asked. It's not that is the number one priority of my administration, will create prosperity for the individuals first, and then have it trickle up or climb up to the government, the city of East St. Louis, government body. So they will improve their lives first, have more income first, spend more income in the community first. Those businesses that's within the community generate taxes that will go to the city of East St. Louis. Those firms from East St. Louis will create more police positions, more fire positions. It will reduce poverty. It will reduce the pension deficit. It will reduce the overall general fund deficit. Okay, the benefits. The benefits for the citizens of East St. Louis is that you will receive all public-private development income. So whatever East St. Louis First is involved in that produces a profit, you will receive money from that, whether it's monthly, quarterly, annually. However, this corporation set up that to be feasible and manageable to get every citizen in East St. Louis that's 18 and older income to your household, your mailbox, then that's what's going to happen. Again, household poverty. So if there's 3 male adults 18 and older qualify for this and receiving income from the businesses that you're supporting, the community that you're supporting, will generate more income, that's going to be coming to you. It's going to come to you that will ultimately reduce the poverty in your household. And the good thing about it, it will come to you in the form of a dividend. President Trump and his elites created something that was actually beautiful for everyone, with money and without money. But the people without money just can't take advantage of it because they're living on the mindset of the employee. So to put it in perspective, how this would benefit you, the plan, his tax plan, they changed your dividends. Dividends is the income that you receive from a corporation that shows your investment and your payment is a payment to you in the form of dividends, their share and their income. So as this company produces income, it give it to you in a dividend. Did you know that dividends are taxed at your personal level? So if you make under $14,000 a year, you more likely is exempt from having to pay federal taxes. So if you're receiving dividends from a corporation and you are exempt from paying federal taxes, you are exempt from paying taxes on the dividend. So that's important. And that was one of the major things. That's why everybody with money love it, because most people that have money live on the right side of the equation. lives on the side to where the businesses is operating on its own with the employees working there, and the profits that I'm receiving from this business is dividends. And if my company is paying me so much of a salary, I get, or it's 15% or less than that, my $1 million dividend payment will be only taxed on my personal income level. But the caveat to it is, if you want to buy a house or car or something and you want to use that dividend as your income, you cannot. It cannot be used to say you have a steady income, or you can use it for income purposes for housing or anything like that. Even though it may be $1 million, you cannot use it on your application to get better things. So, but at the same time, if you're improving your life by receiving this money, by participating in, then who cares? I go buy my car cash. I go buy my house cash because I'm getting the money from it to jumpstart my family life and have a better future for myself, to where I can do things a different and better way. And that's what this corporation provides, because you will be a shareholder of this corporation, just like you'll be a shareholder in like a Walmart if you was to buy their stock. And when they do a dividend split or pay, you're entitled to your dividends. It's no different. Okay, the benefit to the city would be you'll have an increase in fire and police protection, because these businesses would need protection. These businesses would need more police officers, whether it's secondary or whether they on call or on duty, because all the activity that will be derived from the businesses that this company will own, that the citizens of East St. Louis will own, would need this. So it would increase the desire and need for police and fire. It will reduce the pension debt, because the more money that we have in our own individual pockets, and through this plan we'll learn how to support ourselves and our businesses, will actually create more income to the city by sales tax, income tax, and things like that, reducing real estate taxes, and all of that will, the more money in, the less money the city would need to depend on you, which lowers the amount of taxes, because other sources is producing the income that will benefit the city of East St. Louis. Okay, increase in population. The increase in population comes from like individuals wanting to get into receiving profits from the city of East St. Louis. So right now we're at 25, but once an individual know that I can go to a community to where I can invest in, I can shop in, and I can receive my money back in the form of profits and shares, and it just constantly happen over and over and over and over again. This plan is going to bring and attract people back to East St. Louis, Illinois, and there's lack of housing. So there will be a demand for housing, because you can't add 20 or 30 people on an occupancy permit. That's not going to happen. So they're going to need somewhere to stay. So that's going to make a demand for either rental properties and or new housing. So it starts. This plan is a foundation. This plan is a start. It's a beginning. And that's where this plan comes from. Okay, it will increase the revenues from income and income. Again, it will increase the housing, because people need somewhere to stay as they come in. It will establish a bond rating for the city of East St. Louis through proper budget and audits being done. Then they will be able to issue a bond to the city of East St. Louis, a bond rating, and then things can really blow off. And things can really, that's where all of this plan can really come together, because the city can take out bonds, use the new market tax credit to develop all of this with the East St. Louis First in a public-private partnership. And like I said, it would attract outside investment, because people will look at this model, they will look at the people, they will look at the improvement of the community and say, now, based upon the track record of the people, that we can now invest in the city of East St. Louis. We can start with ourselves first, and not to the point to where we just want companies to come in and we'll give them everything and they all make profits for themselves. No, we want companies to come in that will share in the profits with the citizens of East St. Louis. Okay, the management team will benefit from, they will share in the profits that they that's derived from the management activities that they do. So the bowling alley, the movie theaters, all that produce a profit, and they will get their management fee from that. They will get national recognition as being an organization that turn the community around or provide something that's not common or maybe not heard of in this shape or form, and it will, like, again, bring more advertising, bring more outside look into the community of East St. Louis. There are positions that I named with the management at the architect. Those positions are lifetime appointments, subject to credibility issues or ethical issues. So those are the things that will terminate the terminate the position of the member of the organization of East St. Louis First. And those members will have the ability to provide services at market rate to East St. Louis First. So whatever they do outside, they are able to provide that activity at a market rate. If it's required to get an outside source, it will be 3 bids at the most reasonable bid, with the opportunity that these members can provide the same services to the corporation itself. So it's not bounding them to only receive money from this corporation. So or as a entity in this corporation, they have other sources. They have the outside life that they can continue to have while they providing management services that sole purpose is to produce a profit for the citizens of East St. Louis. There are different programs that's involved in this. Like I said earlier, in that East St. Louis headquarters, there will be training for entrepreneurship that will help them find income through multi-level marketing or something that will allow them to learn and increase their ability to provide better financing for themselves. Okay, there's a housing program. As you know, you can look around the city of East St. Louis. There are derelict houses everywhere. So with the demand on people trying to come, that's where this program come into play. We have a contractor that's a member of the organization. We have a real estate broker that's a member of this organization that can produce a housing plan that targets the troubled kids with first priority. Anyone between the ages of 18 to 25 years old will receive first priority. Then you have second priority will be the felons, because where can they have income without being scrutinized? So as they are part of included in this program or this plan, they will be able to change their lives by changing the community, by using the services of this corporation to go out and find a property, go out and rehab a property using contractors, go out and find buyers to buy the property from them to reduce the profits between what they bought and what they buying it for, put into it, and what they selling it for. They can make that profit. And the key thing of it is, the average house in East St. Louis is worth about $35,000. So if they buy a house for $7,000, using this service, the city can give them, not the city, but the East St. Louis First will invest in them, giving them $35,000 or $25,000 to fix the property up, manage the property for them, and put it on the market for them to sell it using the in-house realtor, using a contractor that's in-house, to produce a profit, and in return, the East St. Louis First Corporation will receive interest-only payments. They will receive their total principal back. They will receive profit from the sale, and all of that will go to the citizens of East St. Louis. So this is a profit-driven company. So all profits goes out to the citizens of East St. Louis. And the same thing with the felons. Felons is included in this program because you just can't leave people out. You know, if you leave people out, you have people breaking into houses, breaking into cars, breaking into just stealing everything, breaking into buildings, stealing your electric, your central air units. So we can't leave them out. And real estate is the gateway to all riches. So we want to change the mindset of the individuals that's here. So we have to start at the bottom. We have to include the least among us in order to bring all of us up. So the least among us making money, then they can put in money. Then they have time to participate and shop and go to the things that they own. See, you will own these businesses that I will introduce in a moment. And by you owning it, you will contribute to it. You will develop a habit of supporting your own. And while you're supporting your own, you're creating your own income. So the more you spend in your place, the more money you get back. So it's like you're doing it for nothing. You're getting something for nothing. And everybody loves something for nothing. You're putting in, you're shopping there, you're creating revenues. The city is better off. You're better off. Everyone is better. The school district is better off because they receiving benefits as well from your activities, from your real estate growing and the values increasing. They receive benefits as well. And all others, 18, will receive entry into this program as well, but they will have the least amount of priority. But when I say priority, what this look like, for an example, if we have a $300,000 budget, 40% of it would be for the troubled, 18 to 25. There will be felons, 40%. So that's 80%. And the 20% will be for the individuals who really just can do things on their own and produce their own income and have different revenues to be able to improve their life and their standing. There will be business support for the businesses in East St. Louis that's not an ownership of this. So just think of it as, say if you own a business and you cannot, you run out of money to get inventory. There will be an inventory assistance program where the company will give you, where the citizens of East St. Louis will give this business a 90-day loan, interest only. And at the end of that period, that they will get, the city will, the company will receive interest. The company will receive the initial principal back. And guess what? That interest is considered profit. Guess who get the profit? Each and every last citizen of East St. Louis. And the same, and it is secured by the business license itself. It's not secured by your credit. It's not secured by the collateral that you have. The only collateral that is required that you have a business license, not a fresh one. You got to show that you're established. So for the established businesses that need help, this is your assistance that will come from you and every other citizen in East St. Louis. Then you have payroll assistance. If you can't find, if you're running low on money and you need to pay for your payroll because you're short, there is a program that's done by you all, the citizens of East St. Louis, through East St. Louis First Corporation, will loan you on a 90-day basis the money to pay your payroll. And this is never ending, never ending. As long as you pay and what you borrow along with your interest, you can use this as many times as you need. This is never ending. We will always
support each other. We will always support our businesses to make sure that they are growing. So East St. Louis First do not have to be a member of your company in order to assist you. But if you require the assistance of the corporation, then you would need to pay interest as if you were the bank. So you can kind of consider the East St. Louis First Corporation as the Federal Reserve. You got the City Reserve for all businesses and for the city citizens themselves. Okay, then just say, for instance, again, East St. Louis First is designed to create a profit, and those profits are to be delivered to the citizens of East St. Louis, whichever form, shape it comes in, and that's where joint ventures come in. Say you're on outside and you have an idea, you want to pitch it to the East St. Louis First Corporation, who has the money, that has the buying power, who has the development authority to develop East St. Louis. Say you come to them and pitch your idea and you want support, just like in Shark Tank, and they determine that your project is a viable project, and they want to invest in you and your business for the sake of the whole entire community, then they can do that. They can provide you, negotiate with you a percentage of your business or profits in exchange for ownership or a share in your profit. And whatever your profit make, whatever percentage that this corporation makes, it goes to the citizens of East St. Louis. So any businesses that's attached to East St. Louis First Corporation, the individual citizens will benefit from it. Okay, now I've done all the talking, and I'm going to show you how the magic happens. Okay, say you have outsiders. You have your insiders, which is us, East St. Louis citizens. Then you have outsiders coming in. We're going to use the movie theater as an example. You have those guys coming in using the services of East St. Louis, whether they're coming from Centerville, Washington Park, Arlington, Brooklyn, St. Louis, Belleville, Ferry Heights, wherever they come from, they're using the services. But strategically, we will set these businesses up in a manner that attracts outside participation. We will design it that way. Doing this entertainment. So entertainment requires something extra, especially in East St. Louis. East St. Louis is known for entertainment. So we're going to give this region something that they ain't never seen before, but part of the whole. So, for an example, if on a monthly basis, well, however you want to look at this, we can look at it monthly, we can look at it quarterly, we can look at this annually. Whichever way that this financial model can work, that's how it's going to be presented. So, just for instance, say, I'm going to use monthly for an example because it's realistic. Say that all the customers come to the movie theater and generate $1.5 million in revenues. All of that revenues, we have a 50% will go to payroll taxes and operating. Just say, since you're a citizen, you will have first opportunity. They must hire East St. Louis first before anybody else is even thought of. East St. Louis citizens must be employed first. So not only will you get dividends from the corporation, you will get a payroll. You will be receiving a check for working in these businesses, because whether it's 3 shifts or you're working in the day, working in the night, you're working overnight, whatever it is, you will receive employment that will come into your household. The revenues from the dividends of the company will come from the household, will come to your household. The activities that you're doing in the community, those using East St. Louis First, will come to your house. You will receive a check in the mail, or whether you go down to the headquarters and pick your check up. and it's a movie theater. It's entertainment. Would you rather have a movie theater or a Foot Locker? Would you rather have a bowling alley or a clothing store? Those things will shut down. Everybody ain't going to use or need a service. 25th Street is evident of that. But where do we have a place where we can take our children? Where do we have a place where we can enjoy ourselves in the community? Where we can have bowling, we can have a movie theater, we can have go-kart tracks, we can have a Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm sure of it, entertainment, we would spend our last dime on entertainment, because if living in the community that we have now, where we have over 30, close to 30, 40 murders, it's depressing. So we need something to get our mind off of the depression, the depression that this community is putting on individuals because the lack thereof. So if we invest in ourselves, again, other people will invest in us, and it will change the things. So 50% of that money will go to operating. Out of every business, every structure, we will always have a 5 to 10% reserve taken off of everything. Even in your household, you need to start doing this, because you will see a change. If you make $100, take $10, put it up. So if we make 1.5 million, and we need to take 5 to 10% out, put it up to invest. So we're going to take 5% of that out of there. That's $75,000. Then you have to pay government. You have to pay Uncle Sam. Now, out of this movie theater, at this rate, the city of East St. Louis and all other entities will receive 10% of the gross revenues. So that's $150,000, one business, 1 month, going to these city governments, to school, and primarily the city of East St. Louis. So you can see how many police officers can they hire from one business that's generating this kind of money. Now, when you think of something like little money, okay, going to the city, just think of this. The Casino Queen is making millions, but they only giving the city like $6 million. So they're doing big business. So these businesses can do big business to take care of the city. These businesses can do 2-3 million, because you can in a club you can make 300,000 in a month. So this is not even club, and this is universally used when we have a lot of kids participating in it and families participating in it. So it's going to generate the actual income that it actually needs. So you have so government at 10%, they can receive 10% off the top. So that leaves a net income of $525,000 that belongs to the citizens of East St. Louis. Now, that's just the bowling alley. And in the sake of time, instead of going through this process with all of the businesses that I'm stating here, what I'm going to do is use this one as a template for all of the others. So you got the movie theaters. It's say the movie theater made $500,000. Then we have a bowling alley in the community that's making $500,000. Then we have an indoor go-kart track that's making $500,000. Then we have investments that the East St. Louis First is participating in from like outside sources or Shark Tank type activities, or whatever income that this company is involved in is receiving interest and profits from, and just say you got $300,000 from that. Then we get a Chuck E. Cheese type business, all family oriented is what this plan really consists of. It's taking care of family. Okay, we got a Chuck E. Cheese that's bringing in $500,000. Then we get income from the housing program, the interest, say that rounds out to be 125, because this is ongoing, this is nonstop. As long as this company is in existence its sole purpose is to make profits. These are profits that's coming to the citizens of East St. Louis. So then you have outsiders coming in wanting to invest in the city of East St. Louis, and the City of East St. Louis First Corporation will get ownership interest in that project because using our money, include us in the profit. We want a return on the money that we give you. So give us a return. So say you make $125,000 off that of profit. All of that together produce $2.6 million, close to $2.7 million. That's solely profits that goes to the citizens of East St. Louis. Now, how it's going to get there is this way. Those revenues that come into the city of East St. Louis Corporation, like this $2.6 million, the management fee from this company led by the franchise owner and all of the members to make this machine work, make this business on the right side, business operation work for you to where you can become an investor in this business, is going to take out 10%. That's 7 members at $267,000 will be entitled to 10% of the gross, which is $38,000 a piece in salary for those members for producing you a profit that's being mailed to you. 90% profit that's being mailed to you. And out of that profit, we're going to take 20% reserves out of this, out of the 2.6 million, which is 535,000. Now remember, let's use Dana Howard as example. He is our investor, is our stock investor. We will not be restricted to just like the very, very safe risk. We also use medium risk, because the greater the risk of your investment, the greater your reward. So we can want safe, but we want a little step up because we want money coming into this operation. And he, as an investor and a stockbroker, just as like John Henson, could actually invest all the reserve from all of the businesses, 5 to 10% for each one of those businesses, in addition to the 20% reserve that we're taking off the top of this corporation to invest in the stock market, to invest in things that can produce constant returns on the money that is using. So in return, you have a net profit, $1.8 million from the activities of the company that you bringing in on a constant basis, ongoing. You're receiving that 1.8 amongst the citizens that's within this corporation. You're receiving those dividends. Again, those dividends are taxed on your own personal level. More likely you're in poverty. More likely you're below the level of being taxed. So if you are you in a level of a 15% or less tax bracket. So you will be taxed on your profit of those dividends based upon your own personal tax bracket. So you have zero dividend tax. That's how it works. That's what they came up with. That's why the richest pay less taxes than the employee, because of the way the dividends are. So that $1.8 million will be sent directly to the citizens of East St. Louis. Now, this is where I get into the concept part of this, and I just want you just see yourself and see East St. Louis as being this. Let me just show it. Why is it not playing? Okay, I'm having technical difficulties. I said I was gonna have technical difficulties, but let me get it going back. Here we go. Why is this not working? Okay, external. Uh, oh crap! I knew it was gonna do this. Okay. Well, let me do this. I'm gonna. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you all can. Oh crap! Oh wait. It's loud. Okay. Okay, I don't know if it's playing through, but just keep in mind, um, this is the concept. Now, can you see? Now, can you see the city of East St. Louis with that? I can. I can see the city of East St. Louis with it, and I see that we will support that, and outside entities will support that as well. Let's go to this one. What did I just do to get it to play last time? Okay. I got to get it to go over and play because it's not playing for me. Okay. Well, actually, I can't get it actually play like I need it to play. So, but like again, those. Nope, it's not playing. So let me go back to this here. Okay, so I couldn't get the videos to actually play, but what those videos entails is a commercial for laser tag, a laser tag center, which you can use, which you can use. We can use in the community. We have a movie theater that I'm sure that we will support. We have a bowling alley. I'm sure we will support through family. We have an indoor go-kart track. I'm positive that that is something that we will actually accept and use, and outside sources will, and the way that we will market it will also attract outside customers. So all in all, if we start the process and invest in ourselves, we can have the indoor go-kart track, the movie theater, the bowling alley, the sky zones, retail downtown. We can have an auto dealership. We can have new housing development that's that's like for the elite, somewhere that they can actually come and have a $200,000-$300,000 house on the riverfront or something like that. But it takes us to make that start. The wing stops, the name brand restaurants, Applebee's, and things like that. And as we grow, we can train ourselves. So that is the starting point. That's the beginning of what it would take and what this plan is consisting of. And now here is the how to. How can the citizens claim their role in this corporation? They must be a citizen and residing citizen of the city of East St. Louis. Their ID must match their voter registration card. They must be listed on an occupancy permit. They must vote in local and national elections. They will receive a community loyalty card, which is a way that they will receive discounts on shopping in with the local businesses that's here, and also a way that we can tell their commitment into supporting the other businesses. Okay, each citizen after that qualification will receive 1 share per citizen, and of that amount, we have a target to create 45,000 population of 45,000. That's the target, and that there is the end of it. I don't know how long it took. I was trying to get through it in an hour. What I started at 1, it was an hour and 30 minutes. I tried to get through it a lot faster than that. But that's what it's going to take. If there's any questions, I can take them at this time. And do not forget that I'm seeking your help in becoming a mayor. I know that it's going to take the political bosses and the precinct commitments, because this is the way East St. Louis works. I've been in enough elections. I've been around enough people to know how this actually works. So I again am offering a better choice than what's available now and possibly to come. So if anybody that you already have and had for all this time is a candidate, we already know the outcome. So I just ask, just at least give me a shot. Reach out to the political bosses as I have, and I will continue. And I will present my plan to all who is interested. And as mayor, my number one priority is creating prosperity for the citizens, and second will be police and fire protection, and third will be creating a bond rating for the city of East St. Louis, to where we can pull all of this together to make East St. Louis what it used to be. So East St. Louis first. That is the end of my presentation. I'm surprised my throat is not dry, but that is the end of it. So I would ask again, reach out to the political bosses and the precinct commitment and ask them to give me a shot, and at the same time support me yourself, spread the message, because you can never start too early. One thing I know, especially if you don't have the backing of the political party that's local, which I don't have anything against those, the political party, and quite honestly, a lot of my friends, a lot of them call me for advice here, advice there, to how to do this or some form of fashion. So, and I've been involved in the development, so I have a working relationship with pretty much all of the political people that's in the city of East St. Louis. But at the same time, we had to do something different. We have to provide something better for the citizens. And like again, if we work on the citizens, the city itself will be just fine. Let's work on developing a system. And if I cannot get the support from the people, and if I cannot get the support from the political party, just know that we need a start. and this could be the start. So take it. Take the plan, run with it, but give the citizens of East St. Louis something better than what we already had. You have the resources, you have TIF, you have the ability to do bonds because you gave the Casino Queen bond money, and we're paying for the citizens of East St. Louis is paying for those bonds now. So there is income and there's profit that can be driven and derived from our own activities without outside resources or without outside business coming in to take your money out of your pocket and without no way of actually giving it back. So this is something that's different. I'm at the end. I thank you all for your time, and again, if I can stay on for questions right now, and for I guess I'll leave it open for another maybe 30-40 minutes for any questions that you may have. Just type them on in, and we'll take it from there. So if you have any questions, you can just type it in, and we'll just go from there. Hey, Doc. Huh? Now? No. I think I'm on this. I think I'm live. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm done now. Well, no, I'm done. I kind of like went through it. So, yeah, I didn't kind of went through it. It didn't change quite a bit. So, but that's what that's what I did. Go ahead. What's that? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, no, I haven't talked to him. I'll definitely see what he's talking about. I mean, that's kind of good. But you know what? I mean, yeah, I mean that's good. But it's just getting the support is from the powers that be. You know how that is. Yeah, that's the hardest part. And because how can you turn? I mean, the way I look at it, if I got precinct commitments that's doing things for me, cutting my grass and all of that type of deal, and going going in doing my help me with my absentee ballots and all of that. How can you really compete with that, because they already have the inside scoop, and just like with anything, if you give somebody something, they feel like they have some kind of obligation of to reciprocate. So, and that reciprocation is, let me get that vote, and that's it. And yeah, and you just can't kind of get around it. So ain't no reason to try to get around it. Just see if you can get included. So I've been around it long enough to know, but it's difficult. Right. Exactly. 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 Hmm. Oh man, that is amazing. That is amazing. Okay. Oh. Okay. Right. 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 Okay. I got you. I got you. But I'm more free now though. Yeah, I'm more free. I'm taking some time taking care of my mom, so I'm freer, a lot freer than before. No, she's hold on a second. Mm-mm.